Ever since I can remember, I've been drawn to nature. When I was little, I would often find myself outside in a pile of mud or sprawled out in a field of grass without a care in the world. When I got overwhelmed or got stressed or maybe got in trouble or made a bad grade, you knew exactly where to find me. Now, recent studies have shown that exposure to the natural world around us can actually elevate our mood, soothe stress, enhance our physical health, and improve cognitive ability. Do you ever wonder why students in classrooms with windows perform more efficiently? Or why patients staying in hospital rooms with a view recover faster? Or why you feel significantly better when on a vacation? Because nature has always been the primary link to balancing our well-being. During an interview with the American Psychological Association, Dr. Lisa Nisbet, a psychologist at Trent University, said that there is mounting evidence from dozens and dozens of researchers that nature has benefits for both physical and mental human well-being. She explains how even those in urban areas can experience nature and the array of positive benefits that comes with it. She says you can boost your mood just by walking in nature, even in urban nature, and the sense of connection you have with the natural world seems to contribute to your happiness and overall health. It's no surprise that the importance of our connectedness with nature is being more frequently realized for its impacts on humankind, one of which includes our psychological well-being. According to the World Health Organization, mental health is a state of well-being in which an individual realizes his or her own potential, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her own community. With this being said, when someone cannot meet this description, they may be suffering from a mental disorder such as anxiety, depression, or bipolar disorder. Research shows that being in contact with nature can actually reduce the risk of developing these disorders and help those who are struggling with them. The presence of green space in urban areas has been revealed to actually play a huge part in soothing stress and helping individuals cope. Now, what is green space? Well, green space is essentially exactly what it sounds like, a space that has green in it. Trees, shrubs, vegetation, anything in an urban environment. Green spaces can range anywhere from a public park to a common household plant. A study was done in Denmark in 2019 where a group examined data from more than 900,000 residents born between 1985 and 2013. They found that children who lived in neighborhoods with more green space had a reduced risk for developing many psychiatric disorders later on in life, such as depression, mood disorders, schizophrenia, eating disorders, and substance use disorders. For children with the lowest exposure to green space, the risk of developing mental illness was 65% higher than those who had lots of green space. Now, this is not to say that mental illness is strictly decided by the amount of parks you visited as a child, but scientists are realizing that it is a factor. The trend is the same with adults. For example, in the UK Shetland Islands, doctors have been prescribing exposure to nature, such as bird watching or walks along the beach, to calm anxiety and depression. The term, "I need a breath of fresh air," is commonly used when an individual is stressed and needs a moment to think to themselves. I know I myself have used this phrase many a times when feeling compressed and overwhelmed. Taking a step outside, even for a minute, can significantly decrease the level of stress hormones being produced, therefore boosting the mood of an individual. Stanford put on a study where two groups walked for 90 minutes. One group walked on a bustling, busy highway, and another walked in a nice grassland area. The researchers did brain scans before and after, and the results showed that the neural activity in the subgenual prefrontal cortex, an area of the brain commonly associated with chemicals known to trigger depression, decreased among the participants who walked in nature. Being present in nature benefits our mental stability and health. It has the power of regulating our emotions and balancing our well-being. Studies are also being conducted on the effects nature has on our physical well-being. Exposure to the environment has been linked to higher physical activity, lower heart rates, and even decreasing the negative impacts of pollutants. Vegetation has been discovered to buffer exposure to air pollution by removing ozone, particulate matter, and carbon monoxide from the air. Cities have even gone as far as installing vegetative buffers in areas that have a high risk for air pollution. Vegetative buffers are strips of dense trees and shrubs that are used to block or filter air pollution. They are commonly placed between a polluting source and vulnerable land use areas where people spend a lot of time, such as daycare facilities, public parks, or even schools. Science shows that nature improves the quality of our air, which directly impacts us by ensuring that what we breathe in is healthy. In fact, nature's cleansing of our air has been linked to actually improving our cardiovascular function. Exposure to air pollution and to metals in the environment have been proven to increase the risk of developing cardiovascular disease. Vegetation, however, has the ability to lessen pollution, therefore decreasing the risk of developing cardiovascular issues. Now, let's take a look at another unfamiliar word, biophilia. This is a hypothesis that suggests that human beings have evolved to have an affinity for nature, plants, and living things. This is saying that over time, we have basically become more and more connected and dependent on our environment. Throughout generations, even in more primitive times, humankind has turned to nature for answers. That's why it can be seen everywhere in our society, in our architecture, in our jobs, in our homes, and even in our schools. In fact, nature has been found to be a major factor in the academic performance of our children. Australian researchers asked students to engage in a dull, attention-draining task where they pressed this computer key and certain numbers flashed up on a screen. They had one group of students pause for 40 seconds in the middle of the test to peer at a nice, flourishing green rooftop, and the other group stared at a concrete building. To no surprise, the students who saw the green rooftop made fewer mistakes and performed more efficiently. Natural scenes not only alleviate stress, but also improve our cognitive function and enhance focus. The attention restoration theory holds that nature replenishes one's cognitive resources, which restores the ability to concentrate and pay attention. Nature may even have the capability to assist individuals with attention deficit disorder, or ADD. Researchers at the University of Illinois found that 20 minutes in nature, or green therapy, helps reduce unwanted symptoms of adult ADHD. One of the reasons why green therapy works is because when you and your brain are relaxed, your voluntary attention decreases and your involuntary attention takes over. So your brain can rest and refresh itself. Being outside is like a balm for our hectic minds. Every time you experience a bit of nature, your body is reacting and changing, from soothing stress and decreasing depression hormones to restoring cognitive ability and improving cardiovascular function. Nature continues to surprise scientists with its endless benefits. Nature allows us to let our inner child shine and balances our minds, hearts, and bodies. All of this goes to show that humankind truly is nurtured by nature. Thank you. Oh, I messed up.